We just got to Universal Republic Records, where we're going to be talking with co-presidents Monte and Avery Lipman, who happen to be the keynote speakers at this year's FMF. So let's rewind for a second and just tell me how you guys got into the music business and what inspired you to enter into this fabulous world.
I suppose it just started with the record collection, you know, if you will, and every week you'd go out and you'd buy records, and then for me, eventually I got involved in the concert committee. Avery was involved in the student co-op at school.
Right, I managed the record store on campus.
But I always had, you know, I was just kind of enamored with the business, and I was always curious about the fact that there's a company that was behind, you know, the manufacturing, the production, the promotion, you know, that type of thing. So, you know, it was really no surprise that I gravitated towards that, you know, in the summers, an internship, and, you know, eventually landed a job at Arista, you know, in 1986. At that point, Avery was close to graduating, and take it from there.
Yeah, as it happened, see, we were college roommates, and so he went to work at Arista, so of course I had to follow him. And at the time, the department was called personnel. Now it's human resources. But back when, basically I was just an assistant, and it was right out of college. They're like, you want a job? Absolutely, in a record company. And I was there for about 3 days, and they said, kid, you know how to type, right? And this was actually with typewriters.
Typewriters, yeah.
I said, yeah, so come on up. So I actually became Clive Davis's personal assistant.
For me, I started bouncing around at different companies, and I just had this knack of constantly getting fired. You know, and what we did was just to kind of stay busy, you know, in between we started, you know, because it was always a hobby. It started as a hobby, and to stay busy, would kind of put together these little projects or these little records, and, you know, ultimately that spawned Republic Records.
They tried to make me go to rehab. I said no, no, no.
So who are some of the artists that you've worked with over the years?
Well, certainly the one that put us on the map was Bloodhound Gang, and that led into Chumbawamba. And I think some of the acts that are still with us right now, Godsmack, Three Doors Down, Jack Johnson, more recently Hinder, Amy Winehouse, Colby Calais, Amy Winehouse, Owl City.
You would not believe your eyes if 10 million fireflies.
Urban music, you know, some of the marquee acts, including the Avery, Little John.
Do you guys look at different types of artists now because of the state of the business? Has that changed, the type of artists that you're looking at, or is that the same, maybe just the marketing is different?
You know, one time I remember early in our career, there was an A&R person that, you know, we wanted to give them a tape or something. They said, no, I'm sorry, we're looking for a solo, white, female, blue-eyed dance pop act. And I was like, that sounds ridiculous.
Right.
Like, are you kidding me? You know?
Wow.
And even then, even though I wasn't, you know, I was still just a student of the game, I was like, God, that's just weird. Like, why would you do that, you know? Every day we come into work, you know, with an open mind, you know, just hoping that you just bump into great talent. If we hear about some kids selling out a certain venue, if we see an anomaly, you know, on one of the social sites, you know, we react immediately. Because the thing about it is, I think in the past, people have given the record companies way too much credit, you know, for shaping pop culture. And if they only knew that the reality of it is we're chasing pop culture.
But if all of these dreams might find their way into my day-to-day scene, I'll be under the impression I was somewhere in between.
What about the importance of the live show these days and music festivals who've obviously been around forever? Do you still think the live show is as important? Do you think that it's changed?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question it's important. And the point is, great songwriting, in my opinion, you know, either you have it or you don't. Live performance can always get better. You know, just that comes with practice. That comes with getting out there, performing, and it grows, you know, because your sense of confidence, showmanship, the production, etc.
When you see passion, that's typically the thing that you want to stick to. So regardless of the genre or maybe the trend, I mean, the pendulum always swings. So, you know, at the, you know, grunge was at the, or I guess hair metal was at its final, you know, at the end of the road when grunge came through. And so it's hard to know when you're upon the beginning of something, but because I think time ultimately tells, really.
Writing a hit song is probably the hardest thing anybody would ever have to do. It's not easy. So, you know, there's a saying, 1, you're lucky, 2, you're good. You know, and there's been a lot of people in this industry that are lucky. There's a lot less people that are really good.
If I